5dB5 announced their flagship line of audio plugins. 4 easy-to-use, zero-latency tools that offer simplified workflows, which reduce distraction and keep you focused on what you're hearing. Introducing T-Comp, a transient-retaining VCA compressor. D-Res, a dynamic resonance remover that targets the sustain of drums. K-More, a dual-band transient enhancer. And BMON, a frequency-specific mono maker with saturation. Let's start with BMON, whose deceptively simple design allows for a wide range of applications. The frequency knob controls the frequencies that will be processed by BMON. Audio above the targeted frequency will retain its stereo image and will bypass any effect from the plugin. Audio below the targeted frequency will be summed to mono and will pass through the drive section, which adds saturation to the audio. Since this only affects the audio we've targeted with the frequency knob, we can add saturation to the bottom end of our audio while leaving the rest of the spectrum untouched. The mix knob allows us to control the intensity of the effect by blending the wet signal with the unprocessed signal. BMON can be used to tighten up the low end of your mix by summing everything below 100 Hz to mono on the master bus. With the drive control at 0, the effect is clean and adds no harmonics to the signal. Alternatively, we can place BMON on a stereo source like drum overheads to add weight to the kick drum. Sending the low end through the drive section allows you to add saturation to the kick drum frequencies, which adds density and weight to the kick while retaining the clarity and stereo image of the other drums. The zero-latency design makes BMON well-suited to parallel processing workflows. Place BMON in parallel and focus the drive on the low end to add saturation in parallel to the low end of your mix. We can use BMON as a saturation plugin on mono sources as well. Simply turn the frequency control all the way up to send the entire spectrum through the drive control. This allows us to use BMON to add grit to our guitar, density to our drum shells, and warmth to our vocals. Next is K-More, which is a cross between an EQ and a transient shaper. Continuing 5dB5's simplified interface concept, K-More provides only the controls you need to enhance your transients in targeted areas. K-More is 2 processors in one. The large knobs in the center control the amount of the transient being boosted for the low and high bands. These knobs use EQ filters combined with transient shapers to affect only the transient in a musical way at a given frequency. The focus knob on either side determines what frequency is being targeted by the low and high bands. The width knob sets the bandwidth of the transient shaping EQ boost. The lower the width, the narrower the filter. The higher the width, the wider the filter. The listen control allows you to bypass the transient shaper and listen to the EQ bands alone. This can help you find the frequencies with the most impact. Or you could leave K-More in listen mode and bypass the transient shaping effect to use it as a 2-band EQ. Use K-More on drums to add snap to your kick, sizzle to your snare, or bring out mid-range in your toms. K-More is great for bringing out definition in the mid-range of a bass guitar, or for adding presence to electric guitar. Next is D-Res, which was designed to address resonances in the sustain of your drums. The built-in dynamic resonance filter activates once the signal has fallen below a built-in threshold, allowing your transient to pass through unaffected. This allows you to address a ringing snare drum gently without notching a hole in the transient. The D-Res knob controls the amount of resonance removed. Turn this up until the annoying resonant frequency is gone. although it can be used to remove harshness from cymbals. The Listen control allows you to listen to the focus band in solo, allowing you to fine-tune where the resonant frequencies are that you wish to address. The focus knob determines what frequency is being targeted by the dynamic filter. The width knob sets the bandwidth of the dynamic filter. The master volume control allows you to compensate for any loss in signal level from the deresonation process. Finally, we have T-Comp, which was designed to provide versatile compression without impacting your transients. When using a compressor, gain reduction always begins the moment your audio breaches the threshold. This is one reason so many prefer to use parallel compression, as there is no impact on the transient. T-Comp allows you to dial in how much of the original transient is retained, allowing you to preserve the integrity of the original signal without parallel routing. However, the zero latency design ensures that T-Comp will work perfectly with parallel processing workflows. T-Comp comes with very familiar compressor controls. There is a gain reduction meter to show you when gain reduction is being applied. However, there is no number reading on this meter, as the amount of gain reduction that is appropriate will be different for each source. This allows you to visualize that gain reduction is in fact happening at the settings you've dialed in, but frees you to use your ears to tell you when the right amount has been applied. The punch control lets the original transient through without being attenuated. This allows you to keep the punch of your drums and other sources in a natural sounding way. The size control allows you to control the size of the transient that the punch control lets through. The mix knob allows you to blend the dry signal with the compressed signal for parallel compression effects, and the out knob allows you to apply makeup gain to the signal. 5dB5's flagship bundle puts a new spin on tried and true techniques while providing a clean interface and a no-nonsense workflow. To learn more, please visit 5db5.com.